Hello and welcome back to my channel. This week I'm going to be doing my 13 and 14 week bump date. So if you want to see how those 2 weeks went, then just keep on watching. So I am officially in my second trimester and I cannot believe how fast it's gone. They always say that after your first pregnancy, you tend to not notice the time as much because you're so focused on your other kids that you just don't pay attention to how fast the time's going. I have one little one, he will be 2 next month in February, so he keeps me very busy. There's some times where I'll be in a new week for 3 or 4 days. I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably check my app and see how big the baby is this week. It just, you know, obviously I don't forget that I'm pregnant, but you don't think about it every single second of the day like you do with your first pregnancy. So over the last 2 weeks, we had Christmas and we had New Year's. We were out of town visiting my family in Lubbock over New Year's. So we had a lot going on the past couple of weeks. Let me tell you, when we were out of town, I was craving chicken wraps like nobody's business. I think while we were in Lubbock, I probably had like 7 and we were there maybe 3 days. So I was craving those just so bad. Just the lettuce and I don't know what it was about it, but I had a ton of chicken wraps while we were gone. My nausea has really gone away. I think I might be in the clear on that. Let's hope so. I've been noticing that if I keep myself not full but fed, I don't tend to get sick as easy. Like if I let myself get too hungry, that's when I start to feel really sick. So that's really the only trigger I have. So I really try to eat small meals throughout the day, like little snacks throughout the day, just to keep myself from getting too hungry. There was actually one instance last week that surprised me because I thought I was past this. I was trying to make something, you know, a little bit healthier for breakfast. So I made some scrambled eggs and I couldn't even finish them. I ate maybe half of them before I just had to stop and I was feeling so sick. I had to lay down for the rest of the morning because I felt so sick. And that really took me by surprise because I really thought that I was past all the food aversion. So maybe I'll just stay away from eggs for a little bit because that's really been the only thing in the past 2 or 3 weeks that has made me feel that sick to where I have to lay down and just kind of sleep it off. I've also noticed my energy has come back quite a bit. I am not having to take naps pretty much every single day like I was before. Occasionally I'll need to take a nap, just, you know, I'm tired, I'm growing a human, sometimes you need to rest, but I don't need it every day like I did before. I was just so tired and I really needed a nap. So that is awesome that the energy's been coming back and then the nausea is going down. So I will gladly take that trade and let's hope that that stays for a little while. I've been getting lightheaded a lot whenever I stand up too quickly. You know, when you've got a toddler running around, sometimes you have to jump up and go grab them with whatever they're doing. It's so bad that I almost see black. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. I have to kind of hold on to something. I talked to my doctor about it and she didn't really seem too concerned. She said, you know, when you're pregnant, you're pumping so much more blood and your blood pressure can shift way quicker than it would if you're not pregnant. So she said just be more careful whenever I'm standing up. Just whenever I'm trying to get up, sit upright for a second and then stand there for a second. Just be more mindful of how fast I'm getting up, which, like I said, is not always easy when you've got a toddler running around with, you know, something in their mouth. So I've been cramping a little bit more than I remember in my first pregnancy. My first pregnancy, I remember kind of cramping towards the end, and that could be Braxton Hicks or just, you know, the baby's getting big or whatever. But I've been cramping pretty much the whole pregnancy so far. In the very beginning, like 3 or 4 weeks, I cramped quite a bit for obvious, you know, implantation, all that kind of stuff. And then it kind of went away and now it's been coming back. It's especially in the evening time, like when I'm laying in bed trying to go to sleep, that's whenever I really notice it. And it's not painful, it's just slightly uncomfortable and it's like right at the very bottom of my belly. I haven't had any bleeding or spotting or anything like that, so I'm not worried about it. One thing I haven't mentioned in my previous videos, which is a pretty obvious symptom, that's why I don't even think to talk about it, is tender, sore boobs. Oh my goodness, it is so bad. I had it with my first pregnancy, and I think it's pretty common with most women, but this time, it is a whole nother level. And especially now that I have a toddler who likes to crawl on me, and who likes to elbow and dig and all that kind of stuff. It's just some days I just cannot hardly even stand it. Body odor is another thing. I had this with my first pregnancy and even postpartum whenever I was breastfeeding, I noticed it. And I'm the type of person who I can typically not wear deodorant and I'm fine. Like there's no smell, there's no nothing. But it's pretty bad. If there's days where I'm just in a rush and I'm trying to get us out the door or whatever and I might forget, I notice it. So that's something that I got last time, but I'm noticing a lot sooner. So if y'all haven't noticed, that seems to be the theme of this pregnancy, is I'm having the same symptoms I had with my first pregnancy, but I'm having them way sooner. I've been really thirsty lately. I always have water or something with me at all times because it gets so bad that it's like dry mouth and I can't talk because I'm so thirsty. And really all I drink is water. I've been trying to mix it up a little bit and do the little flavor water packets and just stuff like that. That way I'm staying away from like juice and soda and things like that, just to keep it on the healthier side. So the most exciting thing that happened the past couple weeks is that we had another sonogram last week and they were able to tell the gender. So that was super, super exciting.
You ready to see your brother or sister? You want to see the baby?
Baby.
Yeah? Can you say yes?
My doctor told me that there was a slight chance they would be able to tell a gender because last week I was 13 weeks, so that's very early to be able to tell with a sonogram. Typically, the earliest that they can tell is going to be about 16 weeks, and then most doctors will do it with your anatomy scan, which is around 18 or 20 weeks, so it just kind of depends. Her sonogram equipment in my doctor's office is very old and outdated, so she actually referred us to another clinic where that's all they do is sonograms. So their equipment and everything was very, very high tech and it was fancy. It was super fancy. The picture was very clear and it was really awesome to see that clear at 13 weeks because you know when you see a sonogram you see it's wavy and it's not really very very crystal, I guess, very sharp. And this one, it was really, really neat to see. And the ultrasound tech, she was very confident with the gender, and in fact the baby had their legs spread wide open, so she got a very, very good shot of the gender. And we actually did our gender reveal pictures. We did those yesterday, and so as soon as we get those pictures back from our photographer, we're going to announce. So we just kind of wanted to keep the gender to ourselves for now. We haven't told any friends or family or anything like that. We just kind of want to keep it to ourselves for a little bit, so it might be another week or so before we get those pictures back. And when she did the sonogram, it was a very, very thorough sonogram. She checked all the thicknesses and the widths of everything. She checked my whole uterus. She checked outside the uterus. It was very thorough. Like, I felt pleased with how detailed that she actually looked at everything, and she spent a lot of time on it, and she said everything looks great. I'm measuring a couple of days ahead of where I was. I was 13 weeks and 4 days at the time, and I was kind of measuring around 14 weeks and 1 or 2 days. So we're right on track. We're a couple days ahead there, but she said everything looks great, and they didn't really see any cause for concern.
My mama.
What is that?
So weight gain for the first trimester, I gained 8 pounds, and that's a little bit more than I was hoping to gain. I was hoping for like around 5, but I'm just gonna blame it on the holidays because, like I said, we just had Christmas and New Year's. I really don't think that I ate too much, but you know, the scale doesn't lie. So I'm at 8 pounds up in my first trimester. With my first pregnancy, I had gained close to 15 in my first trimester, so at least I'm doing a little bit better on that front. Really been trying to eat healthy and stay away from sodas and sweets. I've been exercising regularly, so I'm not really too upset about it because I really feel like I've been doing everything that I can to try to stay healthy so far. Here is the belly this week. Really kind of starting to pop out. I've got all my maternity clothes out and I'm wearing most of them. From the front, from the other side. It was funny, this morning I was putting on my, usual t-shirt and stretchy pants for the day, and I was putting on one of my t-shirts and I kind of had to work it down a little bit. I looked down and I was like, oh yeah, I should probably put on one of my maternity tops because the t-shirt just, it was a struggle to put it on. Thank you so much for watching my 13 and 14 week bump date. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and subscribe below. That way you don't miss out on any more updates.